bang in.
Okay, Gina, what are we doing here?
Take number 6, eh?
Yeah.
Alright, good morning everybody. So we've come up to Clarendon Open Area. Our main sort of reason for coming up here is to check those camera traps that we set up a couple of weeks ago. We've made ourselves a good cup of coffee while watching the sunrise.
Yeah, and while we were making our coffee, we heard these jackals alarm calling in the background. It's potentially there could be a larger predator causing them a little bit of hassle. So before we go and check the camera traps, we're going to go and try and find the jackals. I don't know if the audio and the microphone can pick them up. They're quite far at the distance now. It's not really loud, but let's go and see what they're up to, and then see what we've picked up on our camera traps. It's an exciting time as well because the management regime for this area has changed in the last couple of years, so we're hoping that the presence in the area of smaller predators and larger predators for that matter might be a little bit different. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Let's see what these jackals up to and then check the camera.
Yeah. Alright, so we've stumbled across the scene of a crime here.
Yeah.
G-Nut? What caused this?
So those jackals led us to an impala ram carcass which a hyena was feeding on. Now the question is to be asked whether or not, or what species has killed this impala. And while we have a complete guild of predators in this area, it makes it a little bit tough. We can rule out lions and wild dogs because a hyena and jackals would not have pushed either one of them off of a kill like this, although we've just heard lions roaring quite far away, but it still wouldn't be them. So it kind of leads us to believe it's a cheetah or a leopard, because we saw a hyena running in this direction when we first made our way into this area, which probably responding to the alarm calls of the two black-backed jackals. But now the difference between trying to figure out if it's a cheetah or a leopard is quite tough after the feeding of the hyena.
Yeah, so the carcass is, you'll see, it's been fed on in a fairly messy fashion, which is quite typical of cheetah, but also quite typical of hyena. But then also leaning the scales towards the leopard side of the argument is that the carcass has been dragged under a small bush, which is something quite typical of leopards, where cheetahs tend to feed more where they've killed the carcass or they've killed the animal. So there seems to be just as much evidence of it being a cheetah as there is really of it being a leopard. I think what's going to determine what we find. I think what's going to determine it is really what tracks we find in the area. So we're going to go and carry on with checking our cameras, and we'll have a look on the roads around here and see what tracks we can find, and maybe that will allude to what's going on in this area. We're very close to the Kruger Park boundary here, so there's every chance there's a skittish leopard as there is a skittish cheetah hanging around these spots we'll go and let's go and investigate a little bit further and see what we find. Alright, so we had a look around. This is the only sign we've found of any other predators in this area. To be a track of a female leopard. You can tell leopard by the 3 sort of lobes on the back pad here. Hyenas, I mean cheetahs would have that as well, but with cheetahs you would also see claw marks on the ends of the toes, and also the pad would be a lot narrower and longer. Leopards have got much wider, rounder pads, or at least prints. So, G-Nut, do you concur? Leopard?
And the direction the track is going comes directly from where that carcass is. So I think it's a female leopard up in this area that's a little bit nervous of the cars, that's only been seen a few times and caught on these camera traps. I think that's the mystery solved, really.
Alright.
We just got some wire around it so that if elephants or buffalo or something knocks it, at least the camera doesn't end up somewhere in the middle of these open grassy areas. We can hopefully, if it does get dislodged, it stays on the
immediate
post.
vicinity.
Yeah. Let's have a look what we have. Lots of jackal, lots of vegetation.
Particularly windy there. Wildcat.
Serval.
Serval.
Hey!
Yes, that's a cool serval.
That's cool.
Wildebeest.
Wildebeest in the mist. Jackal. Some lions. There they are.
What's that?
No. What is that?